right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Atlanta. Good morning, Southeast, East Coast, West Coast. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning, wherever you are. And good afternoon if you're listening to today's conversation somewhere in the world or a future recording, wherever you are. I hope you're doing good. Today is December 20th, 2024, and it's only 4 days away for Christmas. For those of you who celebrate Christmas, for those of you who celebrate the holidays, happy holidays. Whatever you do, celebrate. That's what I want to say. Celebrate. I love it. Today's conversation, normally, by the way, I have my mentor friend and just a kindred spirit, Sorel Catan, but today he is taking care of business. And today I get to have with you a conversation that I'm really fond of. And I think it's a real, it's very important, really important to talk about. Is an aspect that happens in this at this time of the year where a lot of us, a lot of people connect with the opportunity of the festivities and connect with the opportunity of the celebration. However, we also connect with an aspect of our emotions. A lot of people connect with an aspect of their emotions that leaves them in a place of sadness, of nostalgia, of anxiety, and for some of us, even depression. It's a difficult time of the year for a lot of people, even though there is a massive intention, social intention for celebration. And that's an interesting aspect that's happening every year, right? When you put on the radio, there's the Christmas songs, and they're uplifting. I certainly love them. And whenever you go into the mall, they're decorated in beautiful ways. And when you go into certain areas of town, they have lights. And if you go to New York, it's another level. And wherever you go, there is the possibility, and in a lot of houses, particularly in this region of the world, have Christmas trees. And so there is this social intention for celebration, right? However, while also it's happening at the same time is that in this time of the year is when people get when their emotions get expressed, also they get magnified in the context of sadness, in the context of depression, in the context of nostalgia. And people tend to, if they like to drink, they get to drink more. They get to feel more empty inside. And people feel very lonely in this time of the year. And so I wanted to talk about that a little bit. I wanted to dive into that possibility of that conversation. So in the event that you may be going through that, I certainly, for many years, for a good part of my life, Christmas and these holidays and the festivities was very difficult for me. And I was really good at hiding it. But I really want to be authentic about this. It wasn't just 1 year. It was like that 1 year in 2012, right? No, it was for a good number of years when the festivities began to approach. I would feel in rather than just being a reflective way, I would feel really sad and really lonely, even though I wasn't lonely, right? And I was sad, even though there was many things to be grateful for. And so this is so I really get where some of us and where a lot of people feel. And so I wanted to have this conversation with you and share with you some ideas that I have discovered over the years that can support you if you're going through that, or if you're not, a few ideas that you can take on to support someone else that you can tell that could be going through that. And you just never know, right? You never know who is on a down low. You never know who's not feeling it. You never know who's really good at covering up loneliness and sadness. And particularly nowadays, it's really easy to cover it, right? So or maybe always, I don't know. But the emotional strength in this side of the world, the emotional strength right now is really weak. I can tell. So today we're going to talk about how to help a friend who's sad or even depressed during the holidays. And I'm going to focus on three aspects, three areas that I want you to, that I want us to converse. I want us to be in the inquiry of these three areas, as a context for the opportunity of navigating these difficult times. But they're really good for the entire year, for your entire life, right? So the first aspect that I want to that I want to bring to your attention and explore with you is that currently the what I want to say, the stimulation, the digital stimulation to the brain, it's impacting folks at any age dramatically. And the impact of the digital stimulation is, for the most part, is sort of being talked about. However, the impact is a lot more exponential and a lot more alarming that people actually know how people are being impacted by the digital stimulation at the level of the brain is really having people feel unbalanced. Even though life could be working for them, relationships are working, their finances are rather relatively working, but they feel out of control. And this is a result of digital stimulation. So one of the aspects that I really want to invite you is to give yourself permission to do whatever you need to do the old school way, with a list, right? When you go visit people, leave their phone in the car, whatever you normally do, during the holidays or in life, allow yourself to disconnect from your phone and force your brain to do things the old way. Like even to the extreme, right? Do you guys remember when you had maps? Remember maps whenever you had to go from one place to the next place and you had to go to the gas station and buy a map so that you wouldn't get lost, even to the extreme of getting a map, right? So I know you're not going to do that because there's not that many maps anymore in the world, but you can actually print. You can actually print the directions so that you allow yourself to truly disconnect from that digital stimulation that currently have people feel unbalanced. And also the other aspect that doesn't allow you to do this digital stimulation is to allow you to be present to the people in your life, because the brain, if you will, is going to be gravitated constantly, is going to be gravitated towards the stimulation rather to the people around you. So that was the first thing I wanted to put as a context, or I want to put in the, not a context, but in the background for the opportunity of this conversation, right? And also don't be a police of cell phones, because when you take away the phone from someone in a violent way, people are going to react strongly, right? So be tactful and find a way to enroll people in being free of the digital stimulation. Okay, having said that in the background, here's what I want to start with. However you are and wherever you are, however you feel, feeling emotions is to in however you feel, there is a realm of emotions that you can feel right now. Wherever you are, it's human to have all those realm of emotions at any degree. Whether you feel extremely excited, whether you feel extremely sad, whether you feel right in the middle, in the realm of the possibility of emotions, however you feel them right now, the first aspect to take into consideration is that that emotion you feel, whether it's sadness, rage, excitement, or whether it's balance, it's a human emotion. So with that, what I'm pointing to is that any emotion you feel is human, and any emotion you feel It's okay. One of the most difficult aspects around the holidays or any point in life is that the experience that people have is to try to fix themselves, huh? Try to fix their emotions, like they shouldn't feel them, like you shouldn't feel upset, like you shouldn't feel this mad, you shouldn't feel this sad, you shouldn't feel this way. And that conflict, internal conflict of I should feel differently, leaves people in some degree in an internal battle, in an internal conflict that is difficult to escape. So what I'm pointing to is whatever you feel and however you feel, it's a human emotion and it's okay. You're not broken and you don't need to fix it. Maybe you can just notice it. So that leads us to the next exercise that I want you to keep in mind, whether you are living it, you're experiencing right now, or if you know of people that are experiencing down low and you are there for them. So here's the next exercise. Whatever emotion you feel, in order to bring balance to that emotion, my suggestion and my recommendation is to label the emotion or write down the emotion. Do the exercise of writing down that emotion. If I was sitting with a friend of mine and she or he, I can tell it's in that space of low energy, of nostalgic, missing life, missing what's not there anymore, a previous family, right? A previous accomplishment that no longer shares, or whatever it is. And I can tell that person is in the low, feeling low. What I'm going to invite that person is to share with me what the emotion is. And given the given the practices I do, I will write it down for them because they might not feel like writing them down. They don't really want to play. So you write it down for them, even though they're not writing it down themselves. But by them seeing you write down the emotion, they get to label the emotions themselves. They actually get to see the emotion outside of being the emotion. And that labeling creates at the level of the brain a particular balance. What do I mean by that? The region of the brain that's connected to their emotions actually deactivates and activates the region of the brain that brings logic and thinking. But never mind the neuroscience of that. Never mind the neuroscience of that. What I'm asking you to do is that when you see someone who is feeling really low and sad and depressed, write down the emotion. Have them tell you the emotion and you write it down in front of them so that they can read it. And if they read it, they're labeling it themselves. And you'll notice that naturally that begins to calm them. They begin to have a new tool to actually deal with the emotion, to not exaggerate the emotion or to act out the emotion. Something like if I was going to ask randomly, Stan, how do you feel? And Stan says, well, I'm feeling frustrated. And said, oh, wow, let me write that down. Frustrated. So the act of writing the emotion leaves people in a certain calmness about the way they feel. So remember, the first aspect is however you feel works. Wherever you feel, whatever you feel, it's a human emotion and it's fine. There's nothing to fix and you're not broken. The second aspect is label the emotions. If you're going through it, label them themselves, write them down so that you can get them out of yourself. And if you're with someone, have them share the emotion with you and then you write it down. Once that's happening, once that happened, then we got to connect to something else. We got to connect the brain with something else. And this is where I invite you to look for 10 reasons that you can be grateful for, 10 reasons that you can be grateful for, and say them out loud. Now, the more trivial, the better. What do I mean by that? A lot of times when I ask people in our workshops or whether I'm doing a one-on-one, I ask people, so tell me something you're grateful for. And then they tell me this huge thing. I'm grateful for my kids' health. Yes, but because that's so familiarized to the brain, that person doesn't feel grateful. Because it's like, obviously, you're grateful for that, right? Like, obviously, you're grateful for that. Or, I'm grateful for the air I breathe. It is so real, it's so generalized that the person actually doesn't feel grateful for it because it's always there. It's too familiarized to the brain. So, what I'm inviting you to consider is to think of things that are trivial, that really have you feel grateful for them. For example, imagine, and I'm asking oneself, imagine not having a toothbrush this morning and you did brush your teeth. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of glad I have my toothbrush. Like, I'm glad I have my toothbrush, right? Or, and then you feel that, oh, yeah, it triggers the chemicals that have you be present to gratefulness. Or for those of you who love coffee, now imagine yourself going to get coffee this morning and it was out in your house. It immediately triggers that. At that moment, you feel like, oh my gosh, no, I'm glad I have coffee because I didn't want to go buy it right now, right? It truly, at the present moment, is triggering the right chemicals in your brain that gets you in a different paradigm. Or imagine going out of your house if you have a car, and imagine your car having 4 flat tires. Imagine your car without tires. That would be a difficult day, right? So you can be grateful for your tires. Or imagine not having shoes, right? You can be grateful for your shoes. Think of 10 things. After you label your emotion, think of 10 things that you're grateful for. And the more trivial, the better. And that igniting your brain to intellectually think, what are some things that I'm grateful for in my life that are currently that are trivial, begins to balance it begins to balance you at the level of the brain, and now you're in a different place emotionally. So this is some of the exercises I do with folks whenever I see that it's necessary to balance the brain, where I'm not going to try to fix people. I'm not going to go into fixing their lives. I'm not going to go into getting into the mode of coaching or into the mode of the right advice. Or no, we're just balancing the brain a little bit, right? However I feel is exactly what I'm supposed to feel. I'm exactly where I need to be in life. There is nothing wrong, and I shouldn't feel anything other than how I feel. Now, having said that, let's label some emotions. And then we start labeling our emotions. This is how I feel right now. This is how I feel right now. And then write them down. And then making that transition. Okay, now that I have labeled my emotion, let me look at my current events. Let me look at my environment. What can I be grateful for right now? Right now, oh wow, I'm grateful for my computer. I'm grateful for my mug. I'm grateful for my my keyboard. If I didn't have the keyboard right now, that would be kind of annoying. So look at the environment and look at 10 things that you're grateful for. That completely balances your brain. You're in a different space. The third aspect in the holidays, or if you're going through something, or if you know of a friend that goes through something that is critical, is community. The third aspect in the holidays or whenever you're feeling down in life, it's community. Community is critical. In those moments of my life where I have been at the lowest emotionally, I force myself. I knew I have to force myself to be in community. So a lot of times there was a period of my life where I didn't have a big community. I had 2 friends, and if they were busy, I was alone, right? That's it. I was going to be alone. And so, and in those periods of my life is at the lowest points of my life when I felt the most lonely. So one of the aspects that I did allow myself was to reconnect with the faith I was part of when I was growing up. So when I was growing up, I was part of a Christian faith community, Catholic faith community that my grandmother created for all of us, and we would go to church, etc., etc. As I started becoming an adult, the less connected I was, the less I want to be I wanted to be part of the community. As an adult, I had my own thoughts and my own emotions about it, my own yeah buts. So I started disconnecting from the community. However, at the lowest point of my life, at the lowest emotional point of my life, I remember that community. Now I was in a different country. I didn't know anyone, but I went to that community to see what they were doing. So if you're in a low point of your life, I invite you to connect to the faith you practice, whichever one it is, and then go to that temple, go to that church, go to that building, go to that community and allow yourself to be in community. Also invite friends to your house or go to your friend's house. Accept those invitations. Whatever you can do, whatever you do, don't be alone. Don't make yourself be alone, right? Don't sell yourself the story that I like it better to be alone. I'm gonna look at the ball drop on New Year's by myself because I don't like people anymore. I'm tired. It's just another day. Whatever it is, don't sell yourself that story, particularly if you're not feeling strong emotionally. Be tired, put on your jeans and your shirt and your jacket and be in community. Allow yourself to be impacted by community. Remember, leave the phone in the car. And that aspect, those three aspects, label your emotions, think of something you're grateful for, 10 things you're grateful for, and be in community will balance your brain, will balance anyone's brain. And this could save someone's life. Lately, I've had the just a I don't know how to call it, the privilege, the honor, the humbling experience to be in people's lives who have been considering taking their lives away. And and this exercise that I'm saying to you that I've done with my community have led them to write me letters saying, hey man, hey, I was really thinking about taking my life away. I'm no longer doing it. I want to thank you for saving my life. I want to thank the community you created for saving my life. And when I got the first time I got that letter, I was like, wow. But now it's been a significant number of letters that I've gotten in that context. And so it's something for me to pay attention to. And I invite you to pay attention to. I know you're part of the Daily Huddle community. And for the most part, people who are part of the Daily Huddle community, they really have a emotionally balanced life, if you will. I don't want to take that for granted. I do want you to reach out to me in the event that you need someone, but also I want you to check out for your community. Don't leave people alone. Check out how they're doing. Invite them over to your house. Make them come. You never know what people are dealing with. So there's the last thing, bonus. And I know that Kurt like bonuses and Farid like bonuses. So last thing I want to say for bonus purposes, this is a critical one. Wherever you are, do like Chase, look for a hug. Hug people and enroll them in hugging you. Allow yourself to hug people. For a long period of my life, I didn't used to like hugs. So I used to tell people I don't really like hugs. And so when people wanted a hug, I would say, I would say, okay, I'm gonna hug you. But the way I would be, it's like I was doing them a favor. Like, fine, Kurt, I'm gonna hug you because you asked me for a hug. But internally, I knew the hug was for me. I knew I needed a hug. So for a number of years, I would have this like wall about hugs. I want my distance and all of that stuff. And that's okay. And distance is fine. And hugging people who don't want to be hugged might not be appropriate. But in my experience, my own experience, every time somebody was broke through me, asked me to give them a hug, I really needed that. I really needed that hug, right? And hug triggers chemicals in the brain that leave people feeling love with confidence, with intimacy. So hug as much as you can during the holidays. Hug the people you love, make them hug you, and have a great time. So that was the bonus. Thank you for being here. I want to hear any comments, Yeah, buds, questions, whatever you want to say. I love to hear wherever you are about this conversation. Go ahead, Stan.
Well, I really, really like the fact that you qualified the type of uh things that we should write that we're grateful for as being ones that not the ones that we generally know are big things, because we're in a mode now where we're on like a plane where we're hovering on that. The brain already knows that, right?
Right.
To take things that really make us say, yeah, man, man, I'm glad that when I woke up this morning, man, that I'm glad I'm going to an event. I'm glad I had the proper kind of suit to wear.
Exactly.
I'm glad that, I'm going to see this person that, really needs my help, and they needed a couple of dollars, and I'm glad I had a couple of dollars. It wasn't a lot, but at least I could give it to them.
Yeah,
Those kind of things, I see what you mean. They trip that little meter and get you off of that status quo gratefulness and really get that trigger, that endorphin or that particular hormone that we need. Thank you so much
exactly.
for that.
Yeah, thank you for highlighting that, Stan. Exactly, exactly. My brain is already on a automatic mode. Of course, I'm grateful for my family. Of course, I'm grateful for the air I breathe. Of course, I'm grateful for my health. So it doesn't really trigger the emotion of gratefulness. But if I think of my glasses, for example, imagine not having your glasses right now. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I have the glasses. I couldn't see anything. Oh my gosh, like it triggers the emotion itself, right? So thank you for bringing that up, Stan. That is awesome. Thank you, thank you. What else? Who's next? Kurt, what's opening up for you? I want to hear your amazing voice.
All right, I'll try to really get it out to you there, Gio. So, I'm an ambassador with Project Die Hard. We combat veteran suicide by spreading hope to veterans. And so, as you give this message today, today is the most important day of the year to think about how you can make yourself available to any one of our veterans out there without everybody realizing this is an all hands on deck initiative. We're coming through the holiday spike where we're at the highest point of the year that we are losing the lives of veterans to suicide. And it's right in the realm of that largest healthcare crisis known to humankind, which is social isolation. And,
Mm,
people might ponder and just stop at, I'm not the one to talk to that veteran. And this is
mm,
the thing we need to overcome as a society. We need to figure out the logistics. And a lot of it is we're not going to get the information of that vet, but we can provide our information. My phone number is 262-372-1754. I can be emailed, Kurt, K-U-R-T, at projectdiehard.org. We can contact our veteran service officers. We can leave our information for any agency that's serving veterans. We can put it out there and say, if a veteran would like to call me, this is my phone number. I can be contacted. We can be pen pals, whatever it is. We got to create these cultures and customs where we can take care of each other and be available. If you're not making yourself available, we're sitting back and watching and saying our veterans can go ahead and die.
Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for being someone who connects with the community that way. Thank you for being there for the veterans that way, and for the invitation that you're inviting me and all of us to allow ourselves to be available to another person. And it really is critical that we allow ourselves to be available, because there's small aspects, there's small moments that make a big impact. Truly, just being there for someone to say something and be able to understand them, not fix them, just understand the emotion at that moment, can make an impact for the rest of their lives. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you for bringing that up. Emma, Emma, you're the last one. Thank you for being here. You're on mute, Irma. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Gio, for giving us this platform. And I want to share how important what you said before about helping people, and you never know that you're helping people. And I've been, one of the things that I don't agree with, but I've been diagnosed as clinically depressed. And yesterday was my birthday, and I knew that my immediate family would not contact me, which they didn't. My cousin on this line is Stan, and I'm on the Motivation Readers Mastermind Network. So yesterday, I decided that I was going to, Stan forgot my birthday. And I decided that I would just remind him
Irma, happy birthday. Oh my gosh.
and everybody on. And normally I would have felt depressed because my sisters, my siblings didn't contact me. But I had the whole community of Mastermind Readers Network. And I stepped out and I said something instead of staying quiet. And I really felt so powerful and so happy after I got off the call. This morning, I was supposed to read yesterday, but I celebrated too much by eating pizza night before. So this morning I told Stan I would read, even though I hadn't prepared, I hadn't read it before. And it was the most horrible read I ever did for them. But I appreciate Stan helping me through it. And I appreciate the community for just encouraging me and saying, what a great read, even though I knew. And I just wanted to share that and let you know that when you do speak out and help people, it does help because you don't know what they're going through.
You don't know.
Wow.
Irma, thank you for sharing that.
Wow.
Happy birthday. Thank you for including us in your birthday.
Mastermind.
Go ahead, Stan.
Cousin. No, I was just saying hello to Irma again.
Yes, thank you, Irma. Thank you, Stan, and thank you, all of you. And Irma, thank you for speaking out. Thank you for allowing yourself to be part of the community. And I know the community loves you, adores you. I certainly do. And happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
All right. Well, I would see you guys Monday. Likely it's going to be Sorrel and I being with you, coming to you and walking with you through the holidays and the Christmas spirit. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for being part of my life. I certainly connect with you guys almost every day, and my life is better because you are in it. So thank you, all of you for being part of this community. And allow yourself to bring more people to this community, more Irmas, more Kurds, more Stans. Share them our link, and hopefully they can share this story with us. So very good. So in order to be a renegade and have a crazy life and love your life, there are 9 tenets. The first one is love. Love everything you do, whoever you are is in your life, even if they have a different opinion from you. Love. Stretch your cheeks, smile out loud. You just do the effort to laugh out loud. It's good for your wrinkles. It's good for your confidence. It's good for all the chemicals that balances your brain. Just laugh out loud. Exaggerate your laughter. Sleep. Sleep a little bit more. I say about 8 hours. The more you sleep, the more energy you have, the sexier you become, the more strength you have. Sleeping is part of it all. Eat more plant-based. Get closer to the trees. Hug the trees. Eat the trees. Avoid or really, truly avoid as much as you can all the food that makes you feel drowsy during the holidays, and eat as much as you can of the healthy food. Every day, move a little bit. In the morning, right after you wake up, go for a walk. Even if it's really cold, like where Kurt is, which is freezing, put on a jacket and walk for 10 minutes. And then right after lunch, again, walk for another 10 minutes. Even if it's freezing, move every day. Stress less. It's only one life. Might as well take it easy. Don't be significant. Laugh at yourself and laugh at the world. It's a crazy life. It's a crazy world. Might as well laugh at it. And always, always give away what you have. Give away your resentment. Give away your love. Give away all those things that you have to give away. Give them away. It's okay. Have your identity connect with who you are, not with the things you have. And that's it. Oh, yeah. Last but not least, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check your assumptions. No need to be significant about the things in our lives. I love you. Sorrel loves you more. Have a great weekend.